Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we are discussing one of my favorite watches of the last 5 years. Launched in 2019 in platinum, this is the Gerald Genta 50th Anniversary Arena Bi-Retrograde Jump Hour. This watch, celebrating 50 years of the Gerald Genta brand, was not just a 5-decade landmark piece. It represented the revival of the Gerald Genta brand name, which was previously subsumed into its parent Bulgari back in 2010, and it heralded the return of both the Gerald Genta and the Daniel Roth brands under Bulgari. It's a throwback to the 90s and the 2000s and the retrograde jump hours of that period. So the watch celebrates 50 years of Genta and the modern era of the brand, as well as its rebirth. So 41 millimeters in platinum. It's remarkably heavy. It's only 11.9 millimeters thick, 48.8 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, and then 20 millimeters is the spacing between the lugs. This was a $59,000 watch when it was new, and it's one of my favorites for a couple of reasons. First, it's not huge. It's a big watch, but at under 49 millimeters lug to lug, it's full-sized rather than oversized. And at under 12 millimeters thick, believe it or not, it doesn't look it, but it is thinner than a Rolex Daytona. I could recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. Now, the watch has an incredible amount of presence in ultra-white platinum. Eyes closed, you can feel what makes a platinum watch different. It's very, very special. The gloss and the gleam of platinum is like nothing else. And with this dramatically coined case flank and exaggerated beaded knurled crown and crown guard structure, the watch has an incredible amount of personality. Taking a quick look at the strap, it's high-grade, large rectangular scale alligator leather in blue. You can see it has a broad folded edge, a monotone stitch. This is an expensive cut of leather. It's alligator, large rectangular scale with symmetrical scales, so real money was spent here. You can see it is a Gerald Genta factory strap. By the way, I should mention, outstanding condition on the strap. Gerald Genta parts have always been available under Bulgari. If you're wondering where you get a Gerald Genta branded strap or clasp or service today, Bulgari, through their Le Sentier manufacturer, which was Gerald Genta, has always serviced the Gerald Genta and Daniel Roth watches. And it's great that the brand is back, but it never really went away. For service purposes, you've always been able to get the parts, the service, even the branded straps. Now, we have a white gold double folding clasp. This is something a lot of brands do because white gold is the hardest gold and much, much harder than platinum. So for folding clasps that use really small mechanical components, that is hinged components, oftentimes white gold will be used for its strength, even on a platinum watch. And you can see that it is visibly a much warmer metal, even next to the platinum of the case. And I'll show you the demonstration right there. I can see it. I don't know if you could see it, but it's quite obvious to me. Now, the buckle is a nice piece. You can see the Gerald Genta logo, both within and without. And then we close it all up. By the way, folding clasps. So you'll ask me, why would I want one of these? It's so you don't drop your watch. It creates a loop with the other side of the strap, and so once that loop is formed, as you're donning or removing the watch at your bedside, either morning or night, it's harder to drop something that has a fully looped strap. That's the point of a folding clasp. Now, here we have the look of the Arena Bi-Retros that were made in the 2000s. They were larger, they were sportier. The very first Gerald Genta retrograde jump hours actually came out in 1996, and initially they were a little bit more simple. Not all of them were bi-retrograde. This one has a retrograde date as well as retrograde minutes. The watch features a dramatically domed bezel, and you can see how massive the lug profiles are. They even have a little bit of an inward inflection to them. There's a large crown guard structure, and we do have a screw-down crown with a beaded knurling. The watch is 100 meters water resistant, so it's not a hardcore sports model. It does have a little bit of a sporting capability. You can definitely swim with this on a water-resistant strap. Now, a couple of features here, one of which is the quick set for the retrograde date. It is still intact and allows you to play with that wonderfully fun and engaging little complication. We also have a retrograde system for the minutes and a jumping hour. And if you want to jump the hour without moving the minute hand, there's a little push adjuster on the flank. The actual module is a Gerald Genta module to which multiple patents were awarded during the 2000s, this Bi-Retrograde jump hour module. The original base movement would have been an ETA 2892 or sometimes a Girard Perregaux 3300. But because Bulgari has owned Gerald Genta for a generation now, we have here the BVL 300 base, which is a nice sturdy automatic tractor caliber that's actually a lot tougher than those old Girard Perregaux movements. So it is an automatic winder that has a 42-hour power reserve. Although there's no seconds hand to speak of on the watch, it does retain its stop seconds function, or I should say, since it doesn't have seconds, we'll just call this its hacking function. And you can see that splayed spoke balance is a high-grade piece. There's also a full balance bridge, which better braces this Bulgari movement against shock. It has a 4 hertz beat rate. All this pivots on 33 joules, and again, 100 meters water resistant. You can see it says it right on the back of the case. A PT 950 and a wonderfully massive watch, but with an accessible size and fit from one of the all-time great horlogerie brands that's coming back in force as new models are preparing to launch with the Gerald Genta name. This is a brand name that is glorious, yes, but also still relevant as it's back with force, and that will become more and more apparent as LVMH rolls out the Gerald Genta and Daniel Roth collections for a new generation. And this is where it all started back in 2019, a celebration of 50 years of Gerald Genta's own manufacture. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.